Les États-Unis, première puissance économique mondiale, connue pour être aussi le pays le plus libéral au monde. Le modèle américain est fondé sur le concept d'adulte actif et autonome. Depuis la fin des années 60, le gouvernement américain, grâce à une politique volontariste, a mis en place un arsenal législatif qui a permis de renforcer le mouvement d'insertion des femmes dans la société. Elles ont ainsi développé de grandes capacités qui leur permettent d'être autonomes. Nous sommes allés à la rencontre de 3 Américaines au profil varié. Elles nous racontent leur histoire et leur parcours. Plusieurs dizaines de plats sortent chaque jour des cuisines de ce restaurant situé en plein cœur de Washington. Les clients sont nombreux qui viennent ici savourer les délices de ce restaurant qui compte parmi les plus respectés de la ville. La maîtresse des lieux, c'est elle, Rhys Lacoste. C'est l'une des chefs les plus respectées à Washington. Elle est membre du corps diplomatique culinaire au département d'État américain. Depuis 1982, elle a fait de sa passion pour l'art culinaire un métier qui lui a ouvert les portes de la célébrité. Pour devenir la professionnelle chevronnée de la cuisine qu'elle est aujourd'hui, Rhys Lacoste a dû faire ses classes aussi bien aux États-Unis qu'en France, où elle s'est perfectionnée.
Cooking is a passion for me. As I said, I started when I was 12 years old. My mother was a fabulous cook, but she was a cook for seven kids, so she had dinner, lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the table, 3 hot meals a day. She had a great palate, and we just knew that food was love, so we grew up with just good things. And however, through my childhood, I worked as a waitress. I worked as a store clerk at the Polish deli when I was 12, and then I worked as a waitress and a short order cook. But I was also blessed with my mother's smarts, I should say. We all were. And I was high school valedictorian. I went to the University of Rochester to study medicine. And a few years into that, I realized that it wasn't going to happen. So when I was 20, I drove cross country and went to school in Berkeley. So I lived in Berkeley, California for 5 years, graduated from Cal with a degree in French, which took me to Paris. After I left Berkeley, I went to Paris to strengthen my spoken French and perhaps become a translator, or didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And I ended up getting a job at a cooking school called Libéral, École de Cuisine. And I lived in Paris for 2 years. I ended up working for the school in exchange for a Grand Diplôme in French cooking. And that's where my passion, my real passion began. It was always there, I just didn't know it. So when I came back to the United States, I started cooking. And that was in 1982. So I've been professionally cooking since then.
52 personnes s'activent ici au quotidien pour faire vivre le restaurant. La recette de la réussite de Rhys Lacoste réside dans le choix des produits. Les fournisseurs de cette militante de l'agriculture bio et durable sont des producteurs locaux qui lui livrent fruits et légumes fraîchement cueillis. Les difficultés ont été nombreuses sur le chemin de cette femme d'affaires aujourd'hui prospère.
As a woman running a business, it's not that we can't do it. We are great at it. I think though that we have to not try to do everything, as I said earlier, and be able to allow ourselves to focus on what's most important. But also we have to remember that business is all consuming. Owning your own business is all consuming. So you have to prepare yourself for that. Prepare your family for that. Try to get that balance, because it will eat us up and take every ounce of our being if we let it. So I think that's what's important, and that is the most difficult thing as a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. Running a business takes total dedication. It takes smarts. It takes passion, and you have to be able to give 200% 24/7. And if you're not able to do do that, then you have to be able to find a way that it can happen without that. And people and women sometimes, especially in the restaurant business, I know, choose not to live that life. They want a different quality. They want a better life, you know, for themselves. They want to raise a family, and it's very difficult to do when you're running a business.
Humaniste dans l'âme, Rhys Lacoste quitte parfois ses fourneaux pour se consacrer à des actions caritatives. À côté de son engagement politique, elle assiste des étudiants en hôtellerie pour les aider à parfaire leur formation dans l'art culinaire.
I think it is very, very important to participate in your community. I walk out every day hoping that I will find someone will need my help. It's a privilege, it is a gift, it is a verification of yourself. The fact that you can help some people and you have something to say and you have a desire to help people is confidence in yourself, and very, very powerful that you can do that and that help will be accepted. So I have lived by that mantra my entire life. Again, when I walk out of my door at home or I walk into my door at work, I look to my community always and see who I could help. That being said, I am very, very active politically in political campaigns, political action committees on different causes. I am very involved with the students. I work with Hospitality High School when it existed. It is no longer with us, but for 10 years working with them and training students here in the kitchen, interviewing students for scholarships, just helping them along their way, along their path. I work on the board of directors of DC Central Kitchen, which is a great community service which feeds the homeless, and take a lot of their culinary students into my fold and work with them and teach the classes there. I think it's very, very important to participate in life, you know, and not it opens up the world to you, and it's oftentimes a privilege to help others. And oftentimes it's selfish almost, because you feel very, very good. It's a great feeling to be able to do so. So I think being politically active, being socially active in your culture, in your world is extremely important.
Sa plus grande fierté, c'est son personnel. Elle en parle avec émotion. Partager son expérience avec ces hommes et femmes qu'elle côtoie au quotidien est pour elle un vrai délice.
What is the thing I'm most proud of? I'm proud of my hat as a teacher, I think. I can cry when I think about it. I love my staff, and I love it when I can teach them something. When they, you know, I have a lot of patience, I'm a very calm person, but when I can teach them something, when I can give what I've learned to someone else, and that gift is nothing like it in the world, to share that. And when someone brings to me a beautiful salad or a creation that they've made, it just does, it brings tears to my eyes. I get so happy, you know, I'm just so excited for them, because I know what that feels like. And I also know that I had this little part in making that happen, but I just know their love and respect for me by wanting to show me that salad. I also know the joy that they're experiencing because they created it with their own two hands, and I think that is my teaching is what makes me proud.
Yolanda White est une de ces femmes qui ont le goût du risque. Ces femmes qui aiment quitter leur zone de confort pour se lancer dans le monde périlleux de l'entrepreneuriat. Elle aurait pu se contenter de sa position très confortable de cadre supérieur chez Coca-Cola, une entreprise au sein de laquelle elle a tutoyé le sommet pendant 2 décennies. Yolanda White a lancé avec brio des campagnes marketing pour le compte du géant américain des boissons gazeuses. Contre toute attente, elle décide de quitter Coca-Cola pour créer sa propre entreprise dans le secteur du vêtement de luxe pour les femmes. Deo est le nom de son entreprise.
So my company is Deo. It is a fashion brand that's focused on women, and it's actually giving a new functional benefit to a category that's seen very little innovation. So it's loungewear, pajamas, and so this is about bringing something new that's different, that's really rooted in functional benefits. So the clothing designs are very beautiful, but they have built-in support for women. They have the finest fabrics that come from a multitude of different countries, and we produce it in New York City. The thing that I'm most excited about is having the ability to step out as an entrepreneur, feeling empowered as a woman to start my own business, and launching something that I think answers the needs of women today, which is Deo. So that is what I would tell you I'm most proud of.
Le riche parcours en entreprise de Yolanda White lui a permis de mieux préparer le lancement de son entreprise. Dans un secteur aussi concurrentiel que la mode, les difficultés ont été nombreuses, qui plus est pour une femme de couleur. Mais par son dynamisme, son courage et son esprit d'entreprise, Yolanda White a su contourner toutes les difficultés.
As a woman entrepreneur, I come with a very strong business background, so I understood how to write my business plan. I understood how to actually begin the developmental process. But some of the difficulties is that, and I think this is among anyone, is that there's limited resources and limited budget. So for me, those were some of the issues that I had to figure out how to effectively overcome and still drive the business in a way that I could hit on delivering the high quality that I wanted to deliver, the type of breadth and depth of like marketing that I want to deliver for the company. But for me, the challenges were really around how do you overcome limited resources. And I think it's even more pronounced because I worked on some of the largest brands in the world, so budget was never an issue for me. So now I'm like, yeah, there's a limit to how much I could spend. So it's being very innovative in the way that I think, in the way that I approach projects. It's changing the way I get business done. It's tapping into resources more effectively, and being a master at doing that is one of the things that I had to make sure that I was motivating people in a real way, because it's not just about writing someone a check. It's really helping people understand your vision and have them help you bring the vision to life.
Yolanda White reconnaît que rien n'aurait pu se faire si elle n'avait pas bénéficié de l'assistance et du soutien d'une organisation de femmes dont le but est d'encourager et de soutenir celles qui font le choix de l'entrepreneuriat.
So WEOP has been instrumental in the development of Deo. They were there from the inception, ensuring that I was developing all of the infrastructure for Deo. But in addition to that, they've been very helpful at providing training, providing resources, allowing me to actually overcome what I just talked about, which is having limited resources as an entrepreneur. So it was a multitude of things. They helped me with lawyers, they helped me, which was really important in building the infrastructure. They helped me with business consultants so that I could write out my business plan in totality and be able to talk about the idea that I was bringing to life. And they've been really helpful at just ensuring that I had all the business license stuff and information that I needed for my company. So they were amazing, like amazing.
Son rêve est de voir le maximum de femmes rejoindre le cercle très fermé de celles qui entreprennent.
I'm dreaming about creating more CEO women around the world. I'm dreaming about building circles of women that can support each other to actually overcome some of the obstacles that exist with business, whether it's receiving capital, capital funding for their business, ensuring that they have all the resources. Like, that's one area that I dream about. And lastly, like, I just dream about women having a voice in society and making a difference every single day. So Obviously, I dream a lot, but I really don't sleep that much as an entrepreneur. But I do really think about how we can advance women as a whole in the business community.
Sacré œuf n'a pas eu une enfance heureuse. À 13 ans, elle et sa sœur sont placées en famille d'accueil. C'est le seul moyen pour ces enfants d'échapper à un père violent.
Hey.
Secret?
Yes. Hey.
How are you?
Hey, I'm well.
Okay.
All right, come on in.
Thank you very much.
Yes. I had a very abusive father, and around when I was 13 years old, my brother and I, we both ran away from home. And when we ran away from home, of course, the police were involved and referred us to the DHR, which is the Department of Human Resources in Alabama, and that's kind of like the Child Protective Services. So once they were involved, they made the determination that it would be better for us to be out of our home and then placed in foster care.
Toute petite, Sacré œuf va migrer de famille en famille. Elle n'a pas gardé un souvenir très positif de ses pérégrinations.
I have a lot of different memories about it. Getting placed first in care, I went to a group home. So I was in many different group homes, so I didn't stay anywhere too long. I was in a few foster homes, but more group homes than foster homes. So I think that my biggest memory is that I didn't like it. I mean, I wish it, even though it was better than the home I came from, because like I said, I had a very, very abusive father, and foster care was better than that, but it still wasn't ideal. It still wasn't a family. It wasn't a home. Holidays were always hard, and I think I just wish the people who were involved in the foster care system, whether it's social workers, house parents, the staff at the group homes, were a bit more compassionate at times. So I think that's the unfortunate part about it. You get placed in care thinking it's going to be better, and although like in the most technical sense it's better because at least you're safe, but there's a bunch of flaws in the system that just makes it undesirable.
Privée pendant plusieurs années de l'affection d'une famille à laquelle une petite fille aspire, Sacré œuf trouve la force de tenir. Elle se concentre sur ses études, déterminée à trouver sa voie dans une société américaine qui laisse beaucoup de ses citoyens sur le bord du chemin.
Just not giving up on myself, I think, is the biggest thing, because even in foster care, some of the group homes, we were actually homeschooled, so we weren't even attending like a regular high school, and the homeschools were a joke. They weren't really beneficial to like us as foster youth in our learning and actually preparing us to go far. It just seemed like they had a very narrow view of what our careers may be, and literally I felt that we were almost being like a pipeline into lower wage jobs and different things like that, fast food. Like oftentimes when we were doing like what they would call job readiness and things like that, it would involve taking us to fast food places and allowing us to put in applications, and that was their way of preparing us for our careers. And I just was never satisfied with that, and I didn't think that I should be limited. So just believing in myself for one thing, and unfortunately or fortunately just ignoring advice that was given to me on what would be the best route, and just being kind of bold enough to follow my dreams, and being bold enough to realize that if other people can do it, then I can too. And I believe that even though I come from very difficult circumstances, that makes me more prepared to do the things that I want to do, because I look back and say, well, if I can survive that, what's going to law school?
Étudiante en dernière année de droit à l'université George Washington, le choix de se lancer dans une carrière de juriste n'est pas étranger à son histoire personnelle. Ayant expérimenté les défaillances du système des familles d'accueil aux États-Unis, elle pense que les choses peuvent être mieux organisées.
The easy answer is to say that I definitely want to be like a social justice attorney, like someone who's not only an attorney, just the typical attorney, but someone who's also an activist, an advocate, someone who's I'm bold enough to think that I can make big change. So, and even if I don't change things the way I envision and hope they become, I can at least plant the seeds, and then someone will come after me and pick it up where I left off.
Dans un pays où les études universitaires sont très coûteuses, Sacred Earth a bénéficié de plusieurs bourses et son université l'a récemment honoré au cours d'un dîner pour son travail remarquable en faveur de l'amélioration des conditions des enfants placés en famille d'accueil. Toutefois, elle n'en fait pas une tragédie. Elle est la preuve vivante qu'on peut partir d'une famille d'accueil et réussir non seulement dans ses études, mais aussi dans sa vie future.
I think the biggest advice I can give is that don't give up on yourself. And I think like the hardest part is like falling into despair. You do feel like giving up, you feel hopeless, you feel unloved. Disposable is the biggest feeling that I would have. It's just like because you feel thrown away. So I think if you internalize that, then you get to a place where you don't want to succeed. You don't want to go beyond what people are telling you and all of those things, because you have all these feelings and all those things internalized. And that with foster care, it's not fun, it's not nice, it's not desirable, but all of those things that you experience in foster care only compounds like everything that placed you in foster care. So it's like you're having to deal with layers of it, the abuse from the past, the neglect from the past, and then being placed in an environment where it's not a home, it's a facility, and that's what it feels like. So I think that keeping faith in yourself is like the only thing, and realizing I'm a firm believer that you can do anything that you work hard towards. So it will be difficult, and it will feel like, you know, like it's pointless and hopeless and it's dark. But I think that if you have a goal or a dream and then you just actively pursue that at whatever it takes, then that's the key. Is just keep going even when you get knocked down.
Sacred Earth rêve de faire carrière dans la politique, essentielle selon elle pour faire bouger les lignes et surtout améliorer le quotidien des citoyens.
I'm definitely interested in politics. I think it's important for independence and self-governance to be engaged in the policies that control you. So I'm definitely interested in that regard. Whether or not I'll run for office is way too soon to tell. I definitely believe in being engaged, and like when you don't like the way things are being ran and operated, I do believe that yes, voting's just very important and people should vote and be engaged, but also sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you do have to put your shoes on and go out there and run for office, and that way you can be the one directly involved, and that people can vote for you if they believe in you.
Qu'on s'appelle Rhys Lacoste, Yolanda White ou Sacred Earth, le rêve américain est pour tout le monde, tous ceux qui croient aux valeurs du travail.